Hello. Today I'm speaking with Paul Mancini, Director of Marketing and Innovation at ZPI Inc., which makes performance improvement software for manufacturers. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
Tell us, what are you seeing as the two biggest challenges today for manufacturing and processing companies?
It's somewhat a combination of the economic pressures we've been seeing in Europe with the downturn we've had in Europe and globally for the last 3 or 4 years, combined with new up-and-coming economies like China, for example. So manufacturers these days really need to be running at high efficiencies. So currently, some of the laggards in the U.S. are running at 30%, 40%, 50%. In reality, they need to be at about 85 to 90%.
All right. Innovation is in your title, so it's obviously very important, certainly important for companies to remain competitive. I'm wondering what you're doing to help your clients be innovative, and are you increasing your R&D budget?
Yeah, absolutely. Our R&D budget's actually doubled year over year for the last 3 years. So we've actually implemented a huge R&D program just to get us moving, and that reflects on our clients as well. Our clients are actually able to leverage our R&D research and actually get themselves a little bit of our kind of magic in their companies.
And do you find that companies are really focusing more on innovation today, or has it always been a strong focus?
Definitely, with the economy being what the economy is these days, innovations are really at the forefront. What we're seeing in the industry, the companies that are innovative, the companies that are willing to work and get their production up through innovative means are the ones that are surviving. And we've seen quite a few unfortunate plant closures over the few years in North America. And a lot of it is due to them being laggards, running horribly inefficiently, and you start to see that, yeah.
Are there other aspects of your value proposition that you're focusing on particularly to help customers get the ROI and the return on assets that they're looking for?
Well, our software is kind of uniquely situated in the sense that it pays for itself, essentially. So that ROI is built in, ingrained into what the software does. So unlike something like an MES system where you'd have to go in and cost justify a whole big system based off of a smaller part, our software is that focused improvement portion. So we haven't really had to change anything per se, but the software itself has been developed specifically for the purpose of improvement in ROI. Our customers will see ROI in 3 to 6 months, so we don't really have too many problems there.
Can you tell us a little more about what aspects of operations do you focus on for improvement?
We go through packaging all the way up through process. So basically if you think of, for example, a biscuit operation, from mixing and blending all the way down to the palletizers, that's our focused operation.
Has the economy also impacted the way that companies are making these capital investments?
To a certain degree, we've seen kind of the death of the large capital expense. So early on, before 2008, you would see a company come by and spend a large amount of capital on a huge deployment of software. What we've seen in the kind of the recent years has been a move to very small operational budget type purchases. So you'll have one small operational budget purchase, another small operational budget purchase. They'll prove them out. They'll get ROI on both those installations, and then they'll go and get that capital expense. So people are really dipping in slowly as opposed to diving in.
The recession that all companies have had to contend with has certainly impacted the way business is done. At ZPI, what have you changed to deal better with the recession and with the economy going forward?
Absolutely, it's been kind of a concern, and I think when it first happened, I think everybody kind of stepped back and really didn't know what to expect out of it. And maybe those first few steps we had were a little bit tenuous. Over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, with it continuing, we've really shifted our focus to be we're really pushing the improvement side of things, and it's really helped us narrow down our message. When we start to talk to clients these days, we really say, look, we're the guys that are going to save you money. We're the guys that are going to help you improve your production and keep your production here in North America. So it's really effectively helped us as companies try to squeeze more out of the lemon, per se.
Are any of the new technology buzzwords that we hear about, such as cloud computing, the Internet of Things, is that impacting your software at all?
We've done a little bit of research and development in the area of cloud computing, so creating a low-impact software solution. So what you'd have is a solution that doesn't rely on infrastructure, and that's in the development stage right now. The point there being a lot of companies, even in North America, being as advanced as we are, a lot of companies don't have infrastructure in place. So the ability to put something on the cloud and maintain it independently from their infrastructure, which they either don't have or they can't maintain, it really does help get us a little bit of extra market, especially in the down market for what we're considering.
Give us a little profile of what your typical customer looks like.
Typically, we look at companies above, especially above $1 billion, but usually above $5 billion. Food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, CPG companies, and again, yeah, just the really big guys because they have the infrastructure in place. And it's more to the point, we've been looking at these smaller markets, but there just isn't the real demand there right now. So really upmarket, $5 billion plus.
From your perspective overall, how do you think manufacturing is faring in America today?
I think it's struggling. I think that a lot of the manufacturing facilities are lagging behind efficiency, especially compared to facilities in Europe where performance improvement is really on the top of the agenda. We're starting to see it turn around here, but you still have facilities that are running at 50% efficiency. And the reality is that they're not going to survive for much longer. I think from our industry, in the food industry at least, they've kind of considered themselves protected from that global economy because of the requirement to produce food locally. But food technology is changing now, and there's word of some of those manufacturers moving overseas. So you could see products that would normally have been only produced in North America because of limitations, now produced overseas and shipped over here. So I think everybody has to pick up their socks and actually start moving on it because they will lose their jobs.
Do you see any other trends among your customers that have caused you to maybe look in new areas for solutions?
We've seen a lot of customers coming to us to do the improvement work as well. So where we would typically have been a software company selling the software, selling the installation of the software as our services, we're starting to see customers come to us and ask us to help them get their improvements for them. And we will do that to a certain degree on the sort of first improvement. We'll help with the training, we'll help with that sort of element, and that'll be sort of part of the project pro bono. But beyond that, we've had customers actually pay us large sums of money to come on site and do the improvement work, at least the data mining portion of it, and feed that into a continuous improvement or Six Sigma team.
Talk to me a little bit about the issue of data mining and having data that is reliable and clean enough and accurate enough to use. Is that an issue?
Absolutely, and I think that really what solves the problem of the data not being clean is actually using the data. And one of the things that we find is that if customers don't look at the data, don't use the data, it goes into a state of disrepair. So for our perspective in a manufacturing environment, we're looking at data from the programmable logic controllers. Well, you have someone go in there and reprograms that PLC to fix something on the machine. If that change isn't reflected in the data collection software, it will start to collect incorrect data. So from our perspective, what we do as far as our maintenance contract is concerned is we make ourselves available all the time to be able to do these little fixes and tweaks. So when a customer has a problem, they start to see a state goes out of flux or something happens, something changes, they just call our support. We log in remotely through VPN connection and actually change the program to adapt to what they've done in their PLC system.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with Paul Mancini of ZPI. Thank you for watching.